Yeah, welcome, and thanks for listening. I'm Daniel from Floatility. We are Urban Mobility Recharged. I'm VP Asia, and I'm responsible for the business development and market development for our hardware and software technology. You know, in these days in megatropolis cities, we're noticing that with a massive migration, there's a lot of congestion, emissions, pollution, and generally quality of life, which is being reduced. We find that urban mobility is one of the key challenges, especially for the last mile problem. With the advent of the Internet of Things, digitalization and automation trends will change the way people move. Transport systems will be electric, autonomous and shared, and we're already starting to see examples of that in the city these days. There's no doubt about it that the future is definitely smart, and cities are becoming smarter. Services will be networked, hyper-connected and intermodal, and much more intuitive, being customized and very much tailored to the individual. At Floatility, we're focusing on smart city mobility solutions. Our technology helps multiple market segments, not just cities, but private estates such as university campuses, public transport, so train and bus operators, and of course tourism services, looking at hotels and resorts and tour companies that need to get people from A to B. So a couple of years ago, we sat down and we basically developed the world's most advanced short-distance sharing solution for sustainable urban mobility. What this is combining hardware and software technology, solving the first and last mile problem with zero fuel, zero pollutions, zero emissions, and zero noise. So we call this next generation short-distance sharing technology. Essentially, it's new proprietary M2M software, which is almost like the 24/7 Internet of Things, and also known as mobility as a service, a relatively new concept which generates a large amount of big data. In order to achieve this, we developed and made a very special lightweight composite vehicle called the e-Floater. Essentially, it's a private electric vehicle and personal electric vehicle. It's custom remote speed control, integrated lighting and various safety features, and extremely compact, lightweight, using very composite advanced plastic materials. The e-Floater has a lot of other smart features, such as connected 3G GSM technology, which allows us to track the vehicle through GPS. It's solar rechargeable using a very special solar charging station we also developed, and it has a special lock with security geofencing, allowing us to track the vehicle and maintain and monitor the vehicle in a certain perimeter. When we talk about Floatility's network, we essentially talk about a system, and that system comprises of 3 or 4 various components within that platform. The first, of course, are e-floaters, which is the light electric vehicle. Part of the e-floaters is charging stations, and they allow the e-floaters to be connected, docked, and recharged whenever the battery's flat. The other important part of the network is what we call service, and what that encapsulates is a POS container, which is point of service. We made a specific booth, pop-up booth you could call it, using recycled shipping containers. And in addition to that, in terms of our operations, to maintain and rebalance the network, we use cargo bikes or golf carts, which are also zero emissions, in order to monitor and manage the network for our customers. But the most important part of the actual platform itself is the M2M software that sits behind what we call the front end and the back end of the system. And this is essentially the technology we use and the customers use to access the vehicles, book the vehicles, and what we use in order to understand where the vehicles are and obtain all the data that we require. In a holistic viewpoint, if you look at an overview, like I mentioned, it's mobility as a service. What this essentially means, one cluster equals 500 e-floaters and about 10 stations. So as you can see, it's including e-floaters, stations, platform, and service. There are a number of benefits our system provides, and I mentioned that it makes environments cleaner and much more quieter, but we also provide convenience, and we save a tremendous amount of transit time for people that are using the system. A lot of the infrastructure we've made is quick and easy to deploy and off-grid, not requiring any construction. We do generally improve commuter staff and guests to travel safely, and also very much more efficiently. The assets we deploy have very much prime advertising revenue exposure, and there are some great opportunities for sponsors to come on board who want to participate and be associated with the future of smart mobility. But most importantly, what we find is that the user, the data intelligence that we collect from the user allows us to share that information with town planners and governments in order to improve urban services and infrastructure. We've spent the last 2 to 3 years on some successful global tests, both in warm tropical climates in Asia, such as Singapore and Indonesia, and also in cold winters in Europe. So that's in order to test the platform and the hardware, because we are essentially using battery technology, which of course is susceptible to different types of environments. Through the testing, we're now ready to deploy projects, and we're currently organising and arranging proof of concepts with various types in Singapore and Germany opportunities. We are seeking new smart cities for demonstration opportunities, and we are currently going in international expansion mode. What's really important in order for our fast growth is the support of some very strong local technology partners and global technology partners, including BASF, the world's largest chemical company, Autodesk, IBM, and Cisco. These are all corporate companies that have supported us in some way, such as technology development, which incorporated into the system. If you want to find out a little bit more on what Floatility is up to, we've got some terrific video collateral, which is always really exciting to watch. And our latest one is at OTX Berlin, which is a similar TEDx type conference, and a number of other videos you can find. Please click on these links, and that'll give you a very brief and to the point summary of what Floatility is doing. Currently, we have a team of 6 to 7. We're growing pretty rapidly, and a lot of our team have more than 10 or 15 years experience in clean tech development, so we know what we're doing. Thanks very much for listening, and enjoy.